you got to experiment. You got to dabble. You got to do different things. You got to do different things in the light of your only priority is to find that passion. Okay. You don't worry about the money. You don't get caught up about, I'm not making money yet. The biggest priority, if you don't know what your passion is yet, is to find it, is to figure out what it is, whether that's online, offline, riding a freaking roller coaster and going, gosh, that made me happy. Well, shit, maybe you need to go build and design roller coasters or own a damn theme park. It doesn't matter how stupid or weird it may sound, but you need to find that passion first. Once you find that, then you can go do your thing on Instagram.
Right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Your Best Self podcast, where I get to interview successful and or inspiring people that share with us their story, what obstacles they have been through, and what lessons they learned along the way. My name is Robert Hurt, and I'm your host today, and I have the honor to be interviewing Ben Oberg today, which is going to be very, very exciting because Ben Oberg is a multi-millionaire entrepreneur from Washington State. He is the author of the best-selling book, American Mediocrity, and is considered one of the top experts in digital branding, digital marketing, and online business. Now, his goal right now is to ethically and financially change millions of lives and, all over the world, basically, and teach people how to start and operate their businesses or online businesses at the highest level known to humankind. Now, we're going to go, deep into his story, what he went through, what his entrepreneurial journey, learned him, and also into some, specifics about that. So, Ben, welcome to the interview. Welcome to the podcast. How are you feeling today?
Feeling great, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So Ben, tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey. How did it all begin and why did you get into that?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was in high school, I always had like that entrepreneurial spirit from a young age. But when I was in high school, things started kind of shifting and I saw upperclassmen going to college and going into four-year degrees, coming out with massive student loan debt and landing a job that, the teachers teaching that degree weren't even getting paid, So when I looked at that, I'm like, okay, people are going to school for 4 years, listening to their mom and dad, doing what apparently is supposed to be the best thing to do. And then they're landing these mediocre jobs, earning $30, $40, $50,000 per year. And I want more for my life. I like to have nice things. I like to travel. I like to hang out with my friends. I like to take them places. And as a little kid, I was always the one that, like on Fridays, the ice cream truck would show up in our neighborhood, and I'd use all my lawn mowing allowance to buy the kids ice cream in the neighborhood. And
awesome.
I was always the person that I wanted to be financially well off. I wanted to have freedom. I wanted to have choices. And when I was in high school, I'm looking at my parents or other people's parents and what they do for work. And they all went to college and they all hate their jobs. And so I'm like, how is this the best thing? So it made me question. And when I graduated high school, I stopped for a second. I remember being in a grocery store and I was like, wait, what am I going to do now? Up to this point, we've been guided our whole life. We've always had teachers or our parents telling us what to do. And then in the United States, when you're 18, you're considered a legal adult and now you're on your own. And so I'm like, what am I going to do? And I thought to myself, well, I know the things that I'm interested in. And ironically enough, they're not really taught in school. So I tried to figure out the best thing to do. I ended up going to a technical college for 4 months. And it was at that college where the biggest thing that I actually learned wasn't the actual thing I was going to school for. I learned more about people. And what I saw was a bunch of students that had very low-level dreams, low-level thinking, didn't apply themselves, didn't have work ethic. They were the opposite of what I stood for. And so I left. And I ended up living in my mom's basement for 2 months. I think that was January and February of 2013. I would have been 19 at that point. And I thought to myself, what am I going to do? And I ultimately wanted to build cars. I've always loved building cars, working on old cars, restoring them and things like that. And I was like, man, I just want to be able to do that. But if I go do that, I'll make $10 or $12 an hour to start off with. I'm like, that's not good enough for me. So I ended up finding a sales job on Craigslist. And I thought to myself, well, I know a lot about cars and I can talk to people well. So why don't I go do sales?
Yeah.
And I ended up getting a job at Jack Carroll Skagit Hyundai in sales. I was there from February 11th, 2013 to November 4th, 2016, 3 years and 9 months. That was the best choice I could have made because it was kind of like going to school for 4 years
Mm-hmm.
except I was really good at sales. I
Yeah.
became the top guy. I was making $120,000 a year by the time I was 20, 21.
Wow.
And it taught me everything about business without having the risk of owning a business. How to build rapport, how to present a product, how to pitch an offer, how to understand what a buyer wants, how to overcome objections without actually owning the business and being responsible for everything at the end of the day. So that led me to go, wow, this is great, because at 20, making six figures is pretty damn good. I bought a house. I'm able to save a little bit of money. And then it just made me want more. I'm like, okay, well, who is the guy doing the best here? Well, that's the owner. And that guy's worth 30, 40 million probably. How do I be an owner, or how do I get to that position? And I quickly realized that I'm only going to get allowed to go up the ladder to a certain extent. And at some point, I'm just going to have to take all the reins and go, okay, well, now I'm going to do everything myself, because as long as you're working for somebody else and you're the kind of person that wants to work for yourself or be an entrepreneur or get to the top level, you're not going to do it if you're being commanded by somebody who's already at the top. Absolutely. So made me go, all right, what do I do now? I need to start my own business. And that was about a year and a half, 2 years into that career where I started kind of seeing that. And then things sort of transitioned, and I went through this huge growth period, because I arrived at a point where I loved my sales job. I'm first there, last to leave every day. I'm learning so much. Like, I love it. And all of a sudden, that whole like, Ben, you need to start your own business, started getting into the front of my brain. And all of a sudden, that sales job became a little less exciting, a little less. It was good. Then it was decent. Then it was okay. Then it's like, this kind of sucks, all the way to now I'm really freaking depressed.
Wow.
And that was the weirdest feeling to me, because I'm not a person, I don't get depressed. I don't have depression problems. So to be there was really weird for me. And I was just trying to figure out a way out. I just was trying to figure out a way out. Nobody supported me. Nobody believed in me. Hey, you've got good things going. Don't quit. You're not going to make it. It's not going to work. It's too big of a risk. All that normal people bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's not helping me. That's not the right advice. So I ended up going, okay, what can I do? And I listened to Les Brown every day. Les Brown, the motivational speaker. And I actually had a buddy in the car business. His name's Aaron Hubbard. And he's actually in the book that I wrote, American Mediocrity. Nice. And Aaron was the only person that's like, dude, do it. What the fuck are you doing? Like, go do your thing. You're smart enough. You can figure it out. And he told me, listen to Les Brown. So I listened to him every day, every night on the way to and from work. And there was a quote he had that said, do what you can where you are with what you have. And I thought, well, I have $1,800 and I want to build cars. I'm like, can I build cars with $1,800? No. So I thought, what can I do? Well, I can build parts for cars or motorcycles, custom parts. And I thought, well, I'll get a welder and an oxyacetylene torch. You use it to heat metal and you can bend metal with it. I still have those to this very day. And that allowed me to start my first business, Vulcan Customs, where I did metal fabrication primarily for motorcycles. I would make handlebars, backrests, shift linkage. And I started doing that. I started putting my products out on Instagram. And after a few months, it started to take off. I started making $3,000, $4,000 a month. That planted the seed in me. It just motivated me even more. And ultimately, I arrived at the point where it still wasn't enough, because $4,000 and having, costs going into materials and stuff, I can't pay myself. And I'm like, I'm still stuck. And then Les Brown said something else. He said, it's a quote that rhymes. It's do or die, sink or swim. You have to put yourself in the position to win. So he's like, most people retreat. But when you put yourself in the position to win, where your back's against the wall and it's do or die, sink or swim, what ends up happening is you go into survival mode. You force yourself to produce when you take everything else away. So I was like, all right, I quit my job. I had no money in the bank. I had no idea really how I was going to do. I had some skill talking to people. I knew a little bit about Instagram now. I knew a little bit about online and websites and stuff. Had just this very basic knowledge in a few areas. I'm like, I'm done. So I quit. And that was November 4th, 2016. And I just sat on my living room floor. I didn't have any furniture. I had no money in the bank. I had about $4,000 in bills and a mortgage and all that stuff. And I just would stay up for 100 hours every single week at figuring out, okay, how can I do things for people online, products, services, build a website. Shit, I don't even really know how to build a website, but I'll tell somebody I know, get their money, learn on YouTube real quick or something, and then do the best I can. And that's what got me started. And then it became more formalized, and it turned into the business that I have today.
Wow. That's fantastic, man. You definitely, went through pretty much of a journey, and I love that you early on already had those big aspirations, because I believe that this is something that people nowadays do not really have, those huge ambitions which really force you to stretch and go outside of your comfort zone in order to be able to get to that stage. And this is, I believe that most people are afraid to be doing that, and being against the wall is always not really a nice position to be in, because it's scary. Right.
Absolutely.
So how did you deal with that, being against the wall and sitting on your, like living room floor and, having all those bills coming up? Like what kind of mindset or what was going through your mind, during that time?
Well, I've never been a quitter, and I've never thought that quitting or giving up is an option.
Yeah.
So that was never it. But I looked at all these, lifestyle videos of people making money online or whatever that meant. I still didn't even really know what that meant, but I saw people, the typical thing that would normally sell a young millennial, the Lamborghini and traveling and the drone footage of going to Thailand and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I want to experience things. I want to go places. I want to have freedom. I want to create something where I truly have freedom and I can do what I want to do. And, I'm still working toward that. It's still it's not ever going to be where, I want it to be. I don't think it is for any entrepreneur. You get to a goal and then you're like, okay, well, now I need another goal. So it's always for me been like, how far can I push myself? How much can I do? I know that at any point in my life to this point, I've not lived to my full potential. There's so much I can do. I'm not operating at the top level that I can operate at, and I'm never going to. It's always just going to continue to improve as long as I keep putting the work in. So for me, it was like anytime it got hard, go back to what's the goal? What's the why? What am I going to feel like when I achieve all of this? What's it going to do for my life? What kind of impact can it leave for other people? And so it was all about that. And I find fulfillment, and I found massive fulfillment actually figuring out how to make money myself without some sort of infrastructure that society has laid out, saying that you got to show up at 9, you got to work 4 hours, then take a 20-minute break. And then, you'll get this certain paycheck every week. And if you do good, you'll get a Christmas bonus.
Yeah.
So it was always not wanting to go back to that and not accepting that, and not wanting to ever be in a position again where my lifestyle, the things I can do, the people I can help is dictated by some asshole that says I'm worth $11 an hour.
Yeah.
Right.
True. Yeah, that's awesome. And you also mentioned you went through a growth period, right, where you quit your job. And I watched, one of your videos on your YouTube channel. I think there was a channel trailer where you mentioned that you've tried basically, all the programs out there. You tried affiliate marketing, you tried MLM, and all of this shit. So, walk me through that, because I believe that a lot of people can relate to that they come online because of the, unrealistic expectations and the way, it's being sold. What was your experience there?
Yeah. So back to Aaron Hubbard, when I was in the car business, the guy was never working on selling cars. He'd be there just as much as me, but he'd sell 8 cars a month. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And I put this all in the book too. And when I would ask him, what are you doing, man? We're supposed to be selling cars. You're on your computer. You don't do shit. Yeah. He'd get all offended. And he's like, man, I'm working on my business. I'm like, what business? And he's like, my online business. And at that time, it was like, oh, online business. So you scam people, right? Same mindset most uneducated idiots have. And he starts talking to me more, and I've become pretty good friends with him. I'm still really good friends with him. And he starts showing me different things that he's doing. So literally every company that he was in, affiliate marketing, MLM, whatever. Like, he's just introducing me, of course, getting the commission off of me.
Sure.
But the thing is, that guy would show up to my house anytime, any day, to this day, to help me on anything without asking for anything in return. And so he's like, I'm doing drop shipping with eBay. So there was this company called DS Domination. Okay, tried that. Started doing, you know, a few $100s a week here and there. Then I actually realized the only reason I was making money is because I did my math wrong. I was selling it the cheapest on eBay, and I was actually losing money. So like maybe $500 a week was coming in, 600 was going out.
Oh shit!
So I did that, and then I tried a company called Empower Network. Empower Network was an MLM, but they had tangible products. For example, they had a blogging platform. They called it Kalatu Blogging. The guy that owned it, David Wood, crazy dude, went crazy.
Oh yeah.
Super weird dude. There was a video of him on YouTube rubbing a freaking lime on his head.
Yeah.
And his head was like bleeding. Weird guy, fell off the face of the earth. That company crashed. I started to learn how to blog though. And I was making blog posts like 4 days a week for maybe a year and a half or 2 years. And that experience, I'm like, well, blog post, nobody sees it. So I have to learn SEO. So I taught myself that over a period of a year or two. And so I kind of obtained these little micro skills. Like I knew what dropshipping was, hadn't really succeeded in it, kind of dabbled. Knew what MLMs were, played in them a little bit, kind of dabbled, made a couple commissions here and there. Nothing sustainable, didn't have a system, didn't have some sort of infrastructure where I could clearly tell if I do this, I'll get this result or make this money. So Aaron kind of brought me everywhere. And then there was a company called Digital Altitude.
Oh yeah.
And a guy named Michael Force owned it. And all these companies went out of business because they were not reliable. They did not fulfill needs. They didn't fulfill promises. They under-delivered and over-promised. And so every single one of these I was a part of, I recognized that after being in them for a few months. I saw this trend and I'm like, man, I can't trust other people's bullshit to make my money. But it did expose me. So by the time I had quit my job, I tried the DS Domination drop shipping. I tried the Empower Network blogging and network marketing stuff, and I kind of got exposed to it. And so I dabbled in a few things. Online Sales Pro. It was like a sales funnel sort of system, you know? And so I learned a little bit about that, and I did a little bit of affiliate marketing with it. And so every single one of these areas I failed in. I didn't scale in. I wasn't able to climb up. I just dabbled and got like micro results like most people do when they join stuff like that. A sale here, a sale there, and then it's hard, they give up and quit. So I kind of got exposed to all of that. And then really what happened is when I quit my job, I was just depressed to the point of tears, and left and right, nobody believed in me. Nobody was like, yeah, I think you'll succeed. Or not my parents, nobody. Aaron was the only guy that was like, dude, quit the fucking job and go do some shit. And so when I quit, I remember driving home and I told myself out loud in the car, you're not ever working for somebody else again. You're not getting a job, and you're going to figure out how to do this. So I did that. And I firmly believe it was putting myself in the position to win, where my back was against the wall and the only way to go is forward. That was one. It was also the Les Brown calls it the inspiration of desperation. I was desperate to succeed. My back was against the wall. I was depressed as hell, and there was no going back. There was no going left, going right, only forward. So I had to do something for myself. My mindset was, I'm not going to fail. I can't fail, and I'm not going back that direction. So I need to produce. So it was all of that. It was the inspiration of desperation. It was forcing myself to go into production mode. It was putting myself in survival mode. It was putting myself where my back's against the wall and there is no retreating. And it was having been exposed. At least my mind was wrapped around, hey, there's possibilities. I've done all these things and I failed at every single one of them, but I kind of understand a little bit. I see that there is an opportunity and that there are people succeeding in this. So it was all of that that enabled me to get results.
Okay, so you basically have been sort of like a jack of all trades, but the master of none at the beginning. And when did you realize, all right, I mean, like obviously that's the point where you quit your job, you went home, you were, against the back. But when did you realize, all right, so Instagram, that's probably one of the things that you basically became a master in and then focused and doubled down on that. When did you realize that?
Yeah. So let me see. So in November 6th, 2015, that was about 363 days before I quit my job. So about a year before I quit my job, I started Vulcan Customs, my metal fabrication business. And at that point, I had done this will be really good for people to know. So I had done the blogging stuff with the Kalatu system, whatever. I learned how to blog, learned a little bit about like websites because their platform was kind of a little bit like WordPress. So I learned a little bit about websites, learned a little bit about blogging, and at least knew how to take a picture, write some shit, put it on a website. So when I started Vulcan Customs, I was able to do that. And then I thought to myself, well, how am I going to sell? And Aaron had always been a big Facebook marketer. And I saw all these people on Facebook comment, if you want to make money online, if you want to earn $5 today, let us know. All these bullshit Z tier internet marketers not getting any results. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go on Facebook. Where can I go? Instagram was starting to trend. People were starting to know about it. And I'm like, okay, I'll do Instagram. So I'm like blogging about my metal fabrication and getting my products on my site and then building Instagram at the same time. And all I'm doing is like going, okay, who are the type of people that would like my shit? Well, they're the kind of people that ride Harley Davidsons. They follow Harley Davidson accounts. They like custom bikes. These are the kind of people that are like blue collar workers, 9 to 5, 5 days a week, but on the weekends and evenings are working on their bike and putting all of their money into their motorcycles.
Yeah.
So I need to find accounts on Instagram that are just like pictures of custom bikes. I need to find Harley Davidson accounts and Harley Davidson dealerships and engage and follow and comment, a network with the people that are following these motorcycle accounts. And as I'm doing that, I'm hoping simultaneously these people are going to see that, come over to my account and see the awesome stuff that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I did that from November 2015 through February 2016. And in February 2016, I go to my accountant and I said, hey, what's different about this year is I started a business. So I'm still at Hyundai, but I started a business. And he's like, okay, no problem. So we'll do a business tax return. How much money have you made so far? I was like, nothing. And then he took his glasses off and he looked at me. He's like, you've been in business for 3.5 months and you haven't made anything? Like I was crazy. I was like, no, but I will. Literally a week later, a couple people messaged me on Instagram and they're like, hey, we want this. They screenshotted a picture of one of the backrests that I had made. And they're like, we want this. How much? And I was like, $600. And they're like, okay, how do we pay? I was like, well, fuck, I don't know how you pay. I mean, I don't have go make a PayPal account really quick. And then, and I sold like $2,500 worth of, they call them sissy bars. They're passenger backrests for motorcycles. Sold about $2,500 worth. I'm like, okay, something's working here. So I kept having a place for people to go and reference my products by building my site out, which I had learned by being introduced to this Kalatu bullshit blogging platform by Aaron Hubbard. Okay. But I had a little bit of skill there. Now, all of a sudden it's turning into something. And then my thoughts about, hey, I'm going to go on Instagram, try to get a competitive advantage, find people that are already following accounts, products, and services similar to mine, engage with them, follow them. Hopefully they come back and reciprocate. That started paying off after a few months. So I continued putting effort on both the site and on Instagram. I ended up being able to rank my website to page 1 of Google for the term custom sissy bar and custom sissy bars, which provided me about 2 to 2,500 visits per month to my website.
Awesome.
I would get about 7 or 8 sales per month from that. People would inquire via email or they'd comment on my Google Plus profile when that actually existed. Plus people were finding me on Instagram and messaging me. And so between the two, I would get about 15 sales per month. My average order was I would say $400 to $500. So I'm getting to the point where I'm making $400, $500, maybe $5,500 per month.
Awesome.
But net on that, it's about $2,300 for me. And I'm still working 63 hours per week at the dealership.
Yeah.
And then I'm working about 40 hours a week for myself. So there's a 13-month period between October, November 2015 and when I quit my job, when I'm working 100 hours per week.
Wow.
But then fast forward to like summer of 2016 now. So I'm at the point where I'm selling my sissy bars, and I am able to do that through Instagram. I'm able to do that through my website. Okay. Well, this is the point when I'm phenomenally depressed, and it's about 5 months before I'm quitting my job, but I don't know that yet. 3 or 4 months, I guess. And I'm sitting here going like, this sucks still, because I've been doing this, metal fabrication in my business for like 8 months now, but it's still not a ticket out of my job. Granted, if I had quit then and just done it, it would have been, but it's still not, I'm not seeing it. I'm making like $4,000 a month, taking home 2. I can't live off of that. I still need my job. This sucks. And I've not solved anything, because even though I'm doing something that I like doing or love doing, I'm still doing it for other people.
Yeah.
I'm not building the things that I want to build with the metal fabrication. I'm still taking orders from a customer telling me, hey, I want this, except change this, and then I want this, and then put this rock in the middle of my motorcycle. I'm like, fuck, okay. I'm still a slave to it.
Yeah.
So something starts happening, and I go, well, I've learned this skill of being able to grow an Instagram account, and I've made sales from it. Maybe there's businesses out there, or entrepreneurs, or people out there that want to build a business online and figure out how to get sales from Instagram. Or maybe they already have a business online and they want to figure out how to get more sales. So, and heck, maybe I know a little bit more about Instagram than some other people do. What's that information worth? It's at that same time. This is like June 2016. There's a guy named David from Israel, who messages me on Instagram and said, do you want to learn how to grow on Instagram? And I was humble enough because I knew a little bit by then. I have like 10,000 followers by then. I'm humble enough to go, sure, yeah. And I paid him like $500. And what he would do is I made an account, and he would provide me a picture, and he'd be like, post this at this time. I'm like, okay. I did that for a couple days, and I'm like growing 500 or 1,000 followers a day.
Wow.
And they're real. They're not fake or anything like that. But then I'm like, dude, hold on. Like, I just paid you this. This isn't benefiting me really, because I don't understand what's going on, and I want to learn. So he starts teaching me, and he's like, well, there's this thing called DM groups. So you make a bunch of like groups of people that are all trying to like grow their Instagram accounts in the same niche. And every time you're about to post, you put your image in there, and everybody goes and likes and comments, and it goes viral. And that doesn't work anymore. But that was like, okay, I'll do that. And it paid off. And so I'm learning, okay, if I do this, it goes viral. And going viral means if you get enough likes and comments and engagement on your content, it goes on the Explore page. On the Explore page is where Instagram puts it in front of people that they know are likely to engage on it, because they've engaged on similar content in the past. So I'm learning this whole science. And so, I don't know, June, July, I kind of work with him a little bit. Then he disappears. I don't know, maybe he died or something. But it gave me all of this like motivation to like find out more. And so now I'm September, October, I'm at the point where like, okay, like I know even more about growing on Instagram. And I've made sales on Instagram for my business. I'm now thinking, what if I teach this? I'll continue doing the metal fabrication because I have to, and I need the money, and I'm still trying to, I'm going to do all I can to get out. But what if I can teach this, and maybe it'll lead to some income? And so it's like October 2016, and I have Online Sales Pro, right? And Online Sales Pro is this sales funnel system. It's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
It's really bad, actually. It's very beginner. You cannot scale. You
Yeah.
cannot hit 6 or 7 figures with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all I have, though. So like I put this opt-in page, how to grow 10,000 followers on Instagram in 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'd put their name and email, and then it would go to like a free video of me showing my account that I'd grown from 0 to 10,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
Except I hadn't grown it like that in 30 days. It was like 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
But I had recently grown by 1,000 followers a day on another account, and I wanted to show them that. And then at the end of it, I was like, if you want to learn more, it was a horrible pitch. It's like, if you would like to learn more, I put together a training that will teach you everything I know about Instagram. Click the button below and it's $27. Yeah. There was no I had no perception that if you had tried to make money online before, you'd probably been through the ringer, and you've probably been exposed to a bunch of bullshit and people scamming and all this stuff. But I didn't know that at the time. So a few people bought, and I had like 13 videos in there. And then about 7 videos in, at the end of the 7th video, I would pitch you on the elite version. So I had pro, then I had elite, $27 and then $37. And then if you bought elite, the PayPal button, I figured out how to have a PayPal button that redirected, and then it would go to the next version. And really what you could have done is like downloaded all my videos, stolen all of them, and then like canceled the subscription, like all of that stuff. And I didn't know that either at the time. But by the time you went through the course, you had 16 or 17 tabs open on your computer because I couldn't figure out how to have it in one area. So that sucked. It was really bad. But people would message me on Facebook and be like, hey, this is really good. You need to charge more. And what I had done, just to backtrack, is I had like 300 friends on Facebook that were all like high school people. What I had done in this like June, July, August, September, as I started like, well, what if people wanted to like learn this? What I had done is found people that appeared to be like experts making money online or affiliate marketers or something. And I would look at their comments on their Facebook, and I would add all the people who actually took the time to comment. Yeah. And these are people that were like what I thought were authority figures in the make money online niche. So I would add all the people that actually commented on their posts on Facebook. Simultaneously, I'm posting value on my profile about making money online, or specifically Instagram. And it was these people that I kind of engaged with, that I'd come into conversations to. I'd make posts. I just grew 10,000 followers on Instagram. Do you want to learn how? Comment below. When they did, I'd message them. I put together that whole training and I'd send it to them. And I made between like October 27th and 31st, I made, I think like $800. Wow. And I'm doing this at like 1, 2, 3 a.m. I'm like, wow, this is actually like working. And then somebody's like, you need to charge more. This is worth like way more. And I didn't believe, I had this really limited belief for a really long time about like, how much am I worth? How much should I be paid? Yeah. And then that gave me the motivation though. I'm like, okay, like I just made $800. I think it was like $831. And then that's in my mind, like November 1st, November 2nd, November 3rd. And November 4th, I'm finally like, fuck it. I made $831. I can do this more. So I walked into my boss. I said, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. And I think they knew, like, I'm on my way out. Like, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. This has been a privilege, a massive opportunity. And I really appreciate you guys. I love every single one of you. You've taught me so much, but I got to go. And my one boss, like, I could tell he was just like, okay, all right. I'm like, but I can stay for 2 weeks if you'd like, until you like fill my position. And he goes, that'd be great. And he doesn't even like look at me. You know, and I was in the car business. In the car business, there's no 2-week thing. You just leave. That's how it is. Like, they just assume if you don't show up for 3 days, they'll replace you anyways. But I was the top guy. And so they're like, shit, like here's, you know, 200 grand a month out the door. And I stuck around. I stuck around for them, but then I left November 4th, and I had that $831 or whatever it was in my mind. And that's when I laid on the floor and started hammering things more, posting anything I could on Facebook about this. And then I'm like, well, shit, I don't even know if that'll work still too. So I'm still doing a bunch of different things. I'm like, I'll build you a website. I'll do blogging for you. I'll do SEO. I'll teach you Instagram. And that month of November 2016, I did $12,753, but it was a bunch of shit. It was selling that little course. It was doing SEO for people. I built a website for an attorney. I don't even think he ended up using it. I don't know. I did all this different stuff. But what I noticed was, out of all of that shit that I was doing, for some reason, 70% of the people the vast majority of the people wanted to learn Instagram. So I chose to like hone in and focus on that a little bit more. And between November 2016 and February 2017, that went from a really shitty online sales pro platform, $27 and then $37 to $37 and $67 to then I thought, well, I'll put it in a WordPress. I'll learn WordPress a little bit more, build a members area. I added more content. It went to $297. And then it eventually ended up, after a year or so, being a $2,000 program that over 4,000 people went through.
Wow.
And it created millionaires. It created many people that made six figures. It created five-figure earners. And then, of course, the rest of the people that buy training and never do shit with it created a lot of those too. But it was successful. And so I started really honing in on that course. And I started, because I'm just thirsty. Now I'm focused on Instagram, but I'm doing a lot of different things inside that still. I start doing like a media agency, like I'll grow your account and I'll charge you monthly. Okay. Then I'm like, well, I will build accounts and sell them to people, which is a thing, and people do it. I had a friend who grew an account to like 300,000 followers, and Rolex offered him $50,000 for it, which he turned down because he was making money with the account. And then I would be like, well, shit, I just got done selling cars. What if I like flip Instagram accounts? Like when I sell a car, I don't own it. Like, you know, the dealership owns it. They bought the inventory. I'm like brokering it and I get a commission. So I'm like, what if I find an Instagram account and I tell people, well, I negotiate, oh, I want $800 for it. Sorry, I'm kind of broke. I just quit my job. I can't pay for it. I'm sorry. I don't have that much money. Like, well, $600. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't want to waste your time. I think I have like $400 to spend. Can you do 500? No, I can only do 400. And then like, okay, 400. Okay. I'm like, all right, 400. I could do that. I'll message you back. And then in the next couple hours, I'd go find somebody that wanted an Instagram account, and I'd mark it up. Well, it's $2,000, but I can't pay that. Well, I can't really sell it for less. Gosh, that sucks. And then well, what about $1,800? I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Because if they say, what about $1,800? That means they have 2,000. So I didn't give you my second best price the first time around. I gave you my first best price. Okay, $2,000. All right. And then I'd take the $2,000. I'd PayPal the owner of the account $400, log into it.
Wow.
Take his information out, put my client's information in, and then transition ownership. Keep the rest. Then I'm like, well, shit, I will record that. I'll start teaching people it. Added more content to my training, can charge more, help people get more results, record the testimonial of them getting results, put it out on my sales pages. Now people see all these different ways to make money on Instagram. And I end up figuring out all these different ways: shout outs, affiliate marketing, CPA marketing, brokering accounts, flipping accounts, growing and selling accounts, agency, management, traffic generation, all of this stuff. And it enabled me to put together a very powerful course and attract a lot of people into it. Where I went wrong is I didn't build my personal brand out during that time. I was still growing an Instagram account, just posting random like luxury shit of other people. So then I started to go through this transition. I'm like, I need to position myself as more of an authority. So it needs to be more personal content. It needs to be more teaching. And I need to do this on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I need to build a brand now. And so I started doing that. And that's 2017, mid 2017, I start getting more serious about that. And I start going, well, this course thing's really working out well. And I'm still doing Vulcan customs, but then I decide, you know what, that needs to become more of a, I'm going to put that on the back burner. I'm still going to do it. And I still do to this day, but I'm going to create it in a way where I do the things that I want to do in that business. And then if people want to buy it, I sell it to them. So I focus on the digital brand. I end up coming out with other courses
Mm-hmm.
marketing affiliate mastery, sales mastery. I take advantage of the crypto hype. I invested in some crypto, did pretty well with it, made 6 figures, made 7 figures with it actually,
Mm-hmm.
and then taught people what I did to do that, because it wasn't all lucky. I learned trading and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All of this led me to opportunities to Ty Lopez invited me to his house to train in his mastermind and in his programs. And I went down there a couple times. I got invited to an event to speak on stage where Gary Vee was the main speaker.
Wow.
And this was all like, wow, this is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I went wrong because now I'm like doing all these courses, all these areas to manage, all of this shit to do support for and micromanage stuff, and all these different Facebook groups and all these different members areas. And I should have just gone all in with one thing, which was the Instagram program. And so I realized that, and I went through that realization in summer of 2018. And I decided, look, I made a lot of money with all these courses and with teaching people and helping them create results. But it's so much more sustainable to just go all in on one thing and do it really well. And I thought I was going all in. I'll make a course, and then once people stopped wanting it on Facebook, then that must be it. I have no knowledge of like online advertising or paid ads. I still wasn't running ads. No knowledge of like a sales process where I can attract people to me, pay for the advertising, and still make profit. And I didn't start on that journey of figuring out that until 2018. And I went through massive growth again. And I'm now already at the point where I post my own content. I'm not posting other people's stuff. I'm creating my own content. I'm trying to create really high quality edits. I see the value in building a team. I can't do everything myself. I have a support person. I have an administrative assistant. I have a content creator. I have a videographer. I have a marketing director. I have these people help. I can't do everything myself. I hit a cap. I'm making multiple 6 figures, but I hit a cap. I cannot scale without people. And so that becomes very known to me in my mind in summer 2018. And I go all in on the Instagram program. This is where I'm now going, look, because I reached a point in my business where I'm making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year, but the minute I stop, business dies. If I don't make Facebook posts, if I don't do Facebook Live every day and pitch my course on there, if I'm not constantly writing emails and sending them my email list, if I'm not doing all these launches, I'm like, this is not a sustainable business model. There needs to be some automation, but the right type in a controlled way. So this is where I start diving much more into funnels. We're using sales funnels. I'm using click funnels, which I live literally like 2 minutes from them. And I'm getting very familiar with sales funnels. I meet a guy named Alakasa. I'm introduced to him by a JV Zoo manager. Alakasa becomes somebody that I contract. Then he becomes my director of marketing. And then he becomes like one of the biggest pillar in the company besides me. Work with him every single day. Still do. Major asset to my company. And he builds my sales funnels, does a lot of my marketing. And because of him and my work with him, we're able to automate some stuff. We relaunched the Instagram program, a new version of it in August 2018. I'm in Mexico. I have to still find my hotel. I have a webinar in 5 minutes. Don't even know if the internet connection is going to work there. And I do a webinar. We do like $20,000 on it. And we're like, wow, this converted so well. What if we take this webinar and we automate it? And we decide, okay, we'll automate it. We'll put it on a funnel where people can register, they can attend. It's not live, and hopefully they purchase at the end when I pitch. If enough people purchase and we are able to make more on the sales than we are on spending ads, running ads to it, well, then it's profitable and we have something there. And so we do that. We chase that down from August 2018 all the way to September 1st of 2019 with very little success. So I'm still in the business doing all this shit that I'm like, I got to scale. I have to focus enough of 20 different courses, go all in on one thing, get it massively successful, get an infrastructure, get a system, build the foundation, get the tallest skyscraper possible, then go out and repeat. And so that's September 1st, 2019. I'm sitting here going, dude, it's crazy. Like, we're still not there. I'm almost 3 years into this. We've done 7 figures by now, but it's not scalable. It takes all my time. I don't enjoy it. It fucking sucks.
Okay.
And we end up creating our 3rd version of the Instagram program. But by then, we'd come out with it in May of 2019. It's 48 hours of content. It is without a doubt the most massive Instagram training program in the entire world. And we launch it, does well. Now we're trying to figure out how to put on a webinar. I recorded 50, maybe 60 webinars before we got one right. It's just what it takes.
Wow.
And we were able to run ads to it. We're able to make it profitable. And I'm like, this is really good. This is working well. This is awesome. We were able to put in 30 grand a month on ads, make 40 back in the same month. But then and most people think that sucks. Well, it's what you do on the back end, the upsells, you know, what the customer buys after that initial product, introducing them to your other offers. And we're able to do, you know, double our money, put in 30 grand. I think we put in 30, we made 78,000 back just with that in 1 month. I'm like, this is working. And then TikTok comes out and I showed up too late. I got to this point too late. Instagram is still relevant. It still will be relevant. Facebook owns it. It's not going anywhere. But there's an energy shift in people's focus from Instagram to TikTok. And it's an entirely different demographic, younger audience. Instagram still and will be for a very long time extremely relevant. But TikTok is capturing people's attention. And I arrived at a very recent point where I said, look, we did well in 2019. We're doing well. We're succeeding. We're building a team. We're really like, I'm building a company. I'm not a solopreneur. Like we're going to have an office. Marketing and media and videography are going to be on site. There's a place for business investors, for customers to come. We're tangible. I'm not doing this digital solopreneur. I live in a house, make money online shit. We're a business. I'm a business. We're an entity. We have an infrastructure. We have people, and you can come see us. And that's the vision. That's what we're doing. But Instagram is not going to be the thing to take it there. So it was very recently where it was like back to the drawing board. I want to attract people that are high level. I want to attract the type of customers that I find fulfillment in working with. I don't want to attract the tire kickers, the people that want to buy $30 of information and think they're going to become a millionaire. I want to attract real entrepreneurs, real hustlers, people with work ethic, people that know I genuinely want them to be successful. And as you said in the beginning, when you introduced me, I want to ethically and financially change people's lives all over the world and create a way for them to operate at the highest potential and highest levels that are known to humankind. That's my goal. And I want to be known for that. I want to be the guy that you associate with when you think digital branding, business, online business, whatever.
Awesome.
And with that goal in mind, I said, we need to think longer term and we need to do longer term. So very recently, we've created a much more different product suite, going all in on one thing, but in one direction. Have an entry point, educate people, low ticket product, a little bit higher ticket, a mentorship program, and it's all in one direction, and it's streamlined and it's focused, but it's long term. It's what we're doing now is much more sustainable for my company to grow long term. It's much more sustainable for the type of customers, the people we're attracting, and what we're teaching them. We're providing them with the skills, the information, the digital branding, the sales skills, the copywriting, and really knowing everything that is required to build a successful online business that actually is valid, that's actually worth something. Whether you're trying to offer your own product or service, you're trying to be a consultant, you run a digital marketing agency and you want to get to the next level, you want to be able to close high ticket clients, you're a realtor and you want to be able to educate other realtors, you want to be able to get more leads. Like we are really focused on helping professionals in industries and complete newbies that want to hustle and want to really create something real. We're entirely focused on being the leaders in digital branding and business development and helping people create sustainable online businesses in the areas that they're passionate about. And I'm very focused on helping people create wealth and time in a way that fulfills them and allows them to do more of what they love to do in life, not less. I see through my path what I have done wrong, and I know exactly what I needed to change, and we have made those changes so that I'm doing and creating wealth in a way that allows me to do more of what I love doing in life and not less. And that's very important because we've been taught, go to school, get a job, work for somebody else. I want people to know that they can take any passion and turn it into an income. And if they do it properly and they get the right information and they work hard at it and they go all in, that they can create wealth, that they can create prosperity, affluence, they can create whatever it is that they want in life in a way that actually is fulfilling to them and allows them to do the things that they want in life. And that's what we're doing now, and that's what we're doing going forward.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for sharing all of that, in such detail. I, definitely see, why, you are becoming so successful because of the insane work ethic that you have and everything that you went through, basically. And I would love to talk, so much more about, all this stuff, that you've been through. And we are already, sort of over the time, but I still want to,
You're fine. You can keep going.
All right. All right, fantastic. So, the question I would have, because you mentioned, a few things that you've done that sort of, been successful at that time. So, DM groups and all of that. And since you are the master and the expert on Instagram, what works in 2020 right now? Like, what if somebody wants to build a business around their passion? What works on Instagram?
Well, you have to have, and this is a cliche, content. Everybody's going to tell you have to post good content. Well, there's a lot of parameters around posting good content. Okay. So you need to know what your end goal is when you start an Instagram account. Okay. Like who's your target audience? Who's your customer avatar? What is the problem that they face? What's the problem that they're having? Then okay, here's the solution-oriented content I need to make. And then out of that, you need to realize that Instagram allows you to post video, picture, carousel, story, IGTV, and you need to make content that appeals to all of those. So you're using all its features and telling Instagram, look, I'm sucking up to you and I'm doing everything that you want me to do. So it's knowing who your customer avatar is and what their problem is. Because if you know that and you're publishing content like that, Instagram's algorithms know, hey, here's what they posted. And here's the pool of millions of people that have engaged on content like this in the past, because this is what they're trying to learn. We're going to take this guy's content, put it in front of those people because that's what they want. Instagram is your friend as long as Instagram knows, here's the thing that I'm trying to do. Instagram's going to go, hey, this piece of content that you published is the answer that these people are looking for. And they're going to put it in front of those people. You need to understand that about Instagram. It's not just posting good content. I posted a luxury car today. It's gone viral on other people's accounts. Why didn't it go viral on mine? Know your customer, know your audience, know the problem that you're trying to solve for them. Make content that does that. Okay. Consistency. People think so linear in like, how many posts? I'm posting 3 times a day. If you are literally saying shit like I'm posting 3 times a day and it's not working, you don't fucking get it. It's not about posting 3 times a day. It's about being consistent as fuck, being a leader in your industry, posting as much relevant, high quality, high context, high frequency content as much as possible without thinking about, well, I posted 3 times today. That doesn't matter. The context of the content, the quality of the content, who it's reaching, how well you do at drawing people in, how much you hook in the caption, how much emotion you create, whether it's anger, happiness, sadness, whatever, how much emotion you're creating to trigger somebody to want to comment, like, comment, share, engage, save, DM you, whatever. Engaging with your audience is another thing. Okay. You have stories, you have polls that you can run, you have questions you can ask, quizzes. You have the slide feature. All this stuff makes people engage, and it shows people that you want to engage with them. You ask for your audience's opinions. You engage them. You make them part of your brand. All right. Because they're the ones that are going to buy your shit and allow you to earn a living. Right.
Yeah.
So those are all things that are very important with Instagram. Also running ads. All right. You use the Facebook ads manager. You place ads on Instagram. Most e-commerce sales, even when you run ads on Facebook, 65 to 70% of them come from the Instagram placement. Because you can boost posts on Instagram. It's bad. You don't ever want to run ads like with the boost post feature or on Instagram. You actually use the Facebook ads manager, place ads on Instagram. That works very well as well. Influencer marketing, if it's the right influencer, always does well. If they've got the audience that you want, and as long as you're able to collaborate with them to provide them the content they need to post, the captioning, hashtags, articulate points well, then you can build a really good audience with that as well. Other than that, some people have an advantage as far as like going viral, because Instagram caters to like modeling a lot. If you're a really good looking girl or something like that, and you're posting pictures like that, it's just going to go viral, but you're usually going to attract the wrong audience if you don't do things right. It's about context too. You cannot be a model that is always like pretty much naked and go, oh my gosh, but I really want to sell like nutritional supplements to women. It's not women that are going to follow you. It's horny, single, and not single men. Exactly. So understanding the context of what you're putting out there and who you're attracting is huge. And that goes for anything. It's not just Instagram. And I want people to realize that in the long term of things, they need to understand business, not Instagram. They need to understand business, not YouTube. They need to understand business, not how many likes or comments or saves or follows they got. They need to understand business and how Instagram is a tool to use business and how to use Instagram to achieve that business. Just like they're going to need to understand TikTok and that TikTok is a tool to do business with, and how to use TikTok for leverage in their business. Just like they need to understand YouTube if they're posting content out there, and how to use YouTube to drive traffic to their business. They need to understand business, and that the tools, Instagram being one of them, that they might use are constantly changing, that they will always need to adapt, and that right now they might be relevant, and at some time they might become irrelevant. They need to understand that instead of, well, Instagram is my business. No, it's fucking not. You have a business, and Instagram is a tool. And if you want to use it, you need to understand how to use it, and you need to understand that algorithms will change. You'll have to adapt. Maybe Instagram will become irrelevant at some point, just like Google Plus doesn't exist anymore. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
That would be my best advice.
Fantastic. And are there some niches that work better than others on Instagram, or are they like, because sometimes people want to get into business, get into Instagram, and they don't really know, right, what am I passionate about, but I want to create some kind of business. What are some niches that people can go into if they don't really have that burning passion of something?
Well, to be honest, I wouldn't recommend that anybody goes into a niche of anything, because once again, like, I arrived at a point in my business where I'm like, I quit my job, found something that I found fulfillment in. As I scaled it, I reached a point where I'm like, okay, this is not fulfilling anymore. I'm not attracting the right type of customers. I'm not doing what I love. I'm a slave to my own online business again. I got to restructure. I got to look at, who do I want to attract? What do I want to put out there? How am I going to find fulfillment? What's my why? What's my bigger purpose? And until you know that, you got to experiment. You got to dabble. You got to do different things. You got to do different things in the light of your only priority is to find that passion. Okay. You don't worry about the money. You don't get caught up about, I'm not making money yet. The biggest priority, if you don't know what your passion is yet, is to find it, is to figure out what it is, whether that's online, offline, riding a freaking roller coaster and going, gosh, that made me happy. Well, shit, maybe you need to go build and design roller coasters or own a damn theme park. It doesn't matter how stupid or weird it may sound, but you need to find that passion first. Once you find that, then you can go do your thing on Instagram, whatever that niche is. But if you just start, oh, I'm going to build a niche and blah, 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 blah. If you do that, do it in light of, I'm doing this to try to find my passion and kind of go down this road, test it out and see what I like or don't like about it. Right. Yeah. You do it in that light to find your passion, because if you do it and take any other approach, you will get 6 months, a year, or 2 years into business and go, gosh, I've done all this to arrive at a roadblock where this is not fulfilling to me. You don't want to
Yeah.
put your time into something that you don't like doing. So if you're going to go down the route of going into anything, whether it's Instagram niches or not, do it in the light of, I'm testing this out. I'm experimenting to find out what it is that I truly love doing. With that being said, informational accounts do really well. Accounts that provide information in a particular niche, like infographics. There's accounts that all they do is publish what's called infographics. They'll make slideshows of like 5 tips to making money online in 2020. The next slide is tip 1, and it kind of gives a little bit of text and some emojis or some pictures of it. It's a graphic. And then tip 2 goes into it. Informational accounts do really well, whether it's like makeup tips or health tips or gym or nutrition or finance or investing or real estate or motivation or whatever. Those do really well. Fashion accounts do really well. Women's fashion, men's fashion, or tutorials like how to wear cufflinks, how to wear a tie, different ways to tie a tie, the wide collar suits, the slim collar suits or whatever. What shoes go good with what outfits? Like tutorial accounts do very well. And then people's go-tos, excuse me, oftentimes are always luxury and travel. Those are like the Honda Civics of Instagram. There's so many luxury and travel accounts, hard to grow. You got to put your own twist on it. It's hard to grow because there's so many of them. So you got to be unique, put your own spin on things, but take reference from what is working and what's trending, what type of content, what colors, what structure of content. Infographics are different than quote accounts. A lot of times people like take an image of something, a beach in the background, or a couple walking down the beach holding hands, and then they'll contrast it and they'll put a quote over it and they'll say something like, "Love is awesome." It's some stupid bullshit thing like that. That is different than an infographic account where it's like a solid background, black or red or white or something. And then it's got a primary and a secondary text color. And it might say something like the 5 love languages, which I think is a book. I haven't read it yet.
I think so.
And then there's like touch, words of affirmation, all this different stuff. Touch, blah, 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 blah. Words of affirmation. This is where you support your spouse or significant other in their endeavors or their dreams. How you know if somebody's love language is words of affirmation is blah, 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 blah. Next slide. That's much different than a quote account. Quote accounts got saturated. People responded by going, "Ooh, what if we come out with a new type of content, such as information on a graphic with pictures and words?" So you have to look at what's trending. If you want to know what's trending, just go to your Explore page and look at what Instagram's telling you is going viral.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing. And, one of the few last questions that I have, if you were to lose everything that you have, like all your assets, you only have the knowledge that is inside of you, what would you do in the first 30 days of restarting your whole business?
Yeah. Okay. I'd start a YouTube channel. I'd get my Instagram account going. I get a TikTok up. I get a Facebook up. I build a sales funnel. I get an email list. I'd start the brand from scratch again. I'd get my camera out. I'd start making videos for YouTube, knowing exactly the type of audience it is that I want to attract. I'd get those YouTube videos out. I would edit them very well. So that way, when I hit YouTube, I have the highest context, quality, frequency possible. I'd be posting every day there, knowing exactly how I'm going to articulate my thoughts, exactly what I want to say, exactly the audience that I want to attract. I'd have my editor, or if it's myself at that point, go and I say, "Hey, find points where I articulate points very well in 30 to 60 seconds. Extract those, make them 4x5 or 1-to-1. That's now going to be an Instagram info video. I'm going to be posting relevant content, Instagram stories, and pictures every single day. I'm going to make sure that I get an offer up, some sort of offer, free entry point, then an upsell. I'm going to start building out my digital brand again, collecting emails through Instagram, through Facebook, through YouTube, through TikTok, whatever. As soon as I start getting sales into that product that I've created, I'm going to reserve a certain amount of those sales that I've generated warm without putting money into ads. And I'm going to start finding my audience through paid advertising again on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Google Display Network, which are the 4 biggest advertising opportunities online. Google Display Network, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Facebook is the best, which also means Instagram. YouTube is great, especially when you can retarget your own channel visitors, your watch time, your subscribers, all that stuff, because this is an audience that's now warm. I'm not spending money on cold traffic. I'll run ads to the people that are in the audience that I've already built. I will re-engage people that have engaged on my Instagram profile in the last 30 days by running ads to them. I will target my YouTube subscribers and all of my watch minutes, people that have consumed my content. I'll run ads to them, get them into that very funnel. I will scale that. I will compile joint ventures with other people that have email lists and stuff. Like I can start from scratch again. I just need to be building my brand on socials. I need to, before I even do that, what am I doing? Who am I helping? What's my customer avatar? What do I want to put out there? Okay, great. Here's my customer avatar. Here's their problem. Here's what this audience looks like. Here's what they need. Create my product, build out my funnel, get my email marketing all established and everything like that. Now I'm going to build the content on socials. I'm going to go balls to the wall. I'm going to be posting every single day, drive as much traffic as possible. I'm going to get that traffic, convert that traffic, upsell that traffic, reserve some of that money to pay myself, reserve some to reinvest in the business, spend money on ads, retargeting my warm audience that I already have that didn't naturally and organically buy my shit. Take that money, reserve some of it, pay myself some of it, reinvest some of it, and scale the business upward, not out.
Boom. Mic drop. As easy as that, guys. You know, I love, you know, just you basically laid out everything that you just got to do, you know, in 30 days or less. So thank you, you know, again for sharing all of that. So how about the top 3 books that you recommend anybody who wants to live their best life?
Okay. So the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. That's huge. The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Honestly, I'm a huge Grant Cardone fan. So the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. If you're not first, you're last by Grant Cardone. And then my book, American Mediocrity, which is being published again, literally right now, because we sold out of the first version.
Wow. Congratulations about that. All right. Fantastic. And last question I always love to ask, you know, people that I interview, if you had the ability to teach the entire world one single concept, one single mindset, one single, you know, thought pattern to have a positive impact on the whole world, what would it be?
Sales.
Sales.
Got to learn sales. Every business that ever existed is a result of selling something to somebody. People think sales is a scam. You buy shit every day. You've been sold something. Somehow, in some way, in some translation, you've been sold something. Your ability to be able to sell your product, your service, your idea is going to be a direct reflection on how successful you can be in life and how much time it takes.
Yeah. All right. Top 3 advice for people in going into sales.
Okay. I would advise, one, that if you intend to start your own business, don't do so before getting sales experience. Go into sales. If you want to learn sales, best way to immerse yourself is go into real estate, go into insurance, or go into the car business. Not some kiosk or some Verizon thing where you get a bullshit commission at Best Buy or something. Real estate, insurance, or car business. That is raw sales at its finest. Okay. That's going to expose you very well. Second thing I'd say is go all in on one thing. That means focusing. All right. That means focusing. Okay. When I say go all in on one thing, that means investing your time, your money, all your resources, all of your energy. Okay. Most people a lot of people invest some time. They'll invest some energy. They won't invest money. Instead of spending money on steak dinners or fancy shit or living above your means and completely posing and actually not having shit in life. Okay. Take that money that you would normally spend wasting and invest it in yourself to learn more sales skills. Save it to be able to invest in the business that you want to start. Okay. So if you're going to do sales, go into the right type of sales, insurance, real estate, or the car business. Okay. Go all in on one thing. That means investing your time, your money, all of your efforts, all your energy, all your resources, everything on one thing. Okay. And then the third thing that I'd recommend you to do is you need to realize that you're going to be paid based on your ability to solve problems and how big those problems are. Okay. The bigger the problem you solve, the faster you solve it, the more you're going to be paid. If I'm flipping burgers at McDonald's, I deserve to be paid $9 an hour because I'm literally putting diabetes and cancer into people's mouths. If I'm figuring out how to make space travel repeatable like Elon Musk, well, go figure. The guy's multi-billionaire. Why? Because he's not flipping burgers at McDonald's. He's got a bigger problem he's solving. You will be paid based on how big of a problem you solve, how fast you solve it, how well you market it.
Fantastic. Awesome. All right, Ben, thank you so much for your time. I know we went over an hour, but I absolutely love everything, that you've shared with me here. So for the people that want to know more about you, your Instagram course, or anything else that you do, how can they find you?
Yeah, so you can get me on Instagram at Ben Oberg. And then you can also go to my site, benoberg.com, which is going to give you more of a background on me, and it's going to be able to introduce you to the products, the services, the programs that we have. We're being very hard on, or I should not say being very hard. We are very determined on training people, marketing, Facebook ads, online advertising. We're very determined teaching people full on digital branding and business. And we also have a mentorship program where we take people through digital branding, business, and launching their own products and services. So those are some of the biggest focuses. So on my Instagram at Ben Oberg, Ben Oberg on YouTube, Ben Oberg everywhere, and benoberg.com.
Fantastic. I'll definitely leave the links in the description down below, guys. So if you want to check Ben Oberg out and you want to learn more about what he does, then definitely check out those links in the description down below. So yeah, with that said, guys, if you enjoyed this interview, if you enjoyed this video, then let me know in the comments down below. Leave this video a thumbs up and also make sure to subscribe to this channel so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. So Ben, thank you so much again for taking your time out of your day to be on this interview today. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, thanks again.
No problem, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right, fantastic. Have a fantastic day. Cheers, man. Bye-bye.